Hey everyone at home or wherever you may happen to be. Welcome back to Art Explorations for Kids. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our next lesson, which is patterns. And we're going to be drawing a sea turtle today. We may not be able to make it to the beach, but we can bring the beach to us. So in today's project, we're going to focus on patterns while we make a turtle character out of oil pastels and watercolors. So here I have some examples of patterns. I have some swirls, repetitive swirls that go down, just some lines off in a diagonal, and crisscross lines. I have dots that I've created, diamonds in a pattern, and these zigzags that go down like lightning. Now, I know many of you will probably already have so many ideas of other patterns, and that's great. I want you to be able to use those in this drawing and really express yourself. So now that we've looked at some patterns, let's go ahead and start doing our basic drawing of a turtle. Now, drawing can be intimidating, but it's really quite simple once you start breaking your figures down into basic shapes. So what we're going to do is just start off with a circle here with a light hand with the Jerry's Jumbo Jet Black pencil. And we're going to bring up the tip of this turtle's head, his forehead right here. And it's going to come down to his nose. And then down here to his beak. And then we're going to come up and give him a big old grin and add in a plump cheek. And then you see how this circle is helping me to guide these lines so I know where I want to lay my next lines in for the final figure. Here's the chin coming down and then following in for the jawline. So then I'm going to come back here, go down, and bring in his neck. His nostril goes right here. And then to finish up his head, give him a nice big happy eye and draw in the pupil. And go ahead and color that in. So for his shell, I want to give him a little bit of a collar. And then again, simple shape. We're going to make a big old oval. Now, the fins of the turtle, we're going to start off by creating an arc and then another arc, and then just gently pull in and connect back. And then we'll repeat that over here, opposite side, have his fin come out, create almost an almond shape, but stop just before finishing the almond and connecting down to the shell. Now for his back flippers, we're going to go ahead and create an arc, but we're going to give him 3 little bumps for his back flippers. He needs those to propel himself through the water really well. So again, repeat the same thing we did with the back flipper we just drew. And there we have our basic turtle. So I'm going to go ahead and with our light lines that we did, I'm going to just erase in here the unnecessary preliminary drawings and make it a little bit more clean. All right. And if you watched along with the first lesson, you know that you don't want to wipe across to get rid of the shavings from your eraser. You want to and tap. It's the best way to get rid of those shavings and not have to worry about ruining or smudging your artwork. Okay, so now I am going to take one of the greens. You pick whichever one is your favorite. And I'm going to start outlining our turtle here with this oil pastel. And remember, it doesn't have to perfectly outline. If you go outside or inside of the lines or don't completely cover your pencil, you can always go back and erase or add more of the oil pastels. Remember to be careful when going around these rounded edges and take it slow. There's no hurry. Finally, I'm going to add these little details up here in the nostril and coming around the eye. Okay, so you'll remember earlier I mentioned we were going to be focusing on patterns. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our turtle shell and split it into however many divisions you would like, and we're going to put a pattern in each one. And just as a refresher, here are some of the patterns that I came up with, but I know that we have such a creative bunch out there. You guys have so many more things going on in your heads. I know you're going to be dying to try out on the back of this turtle shell. So I'm going to start off by just creating a segment over here. That's one. Maybe a segment over here. Maybe I'll make a big brown one here. Maybe this one will come off to the side. Maybe another round one. Okay. So now we're going to focus on applying those patterns into these different sections. These can be any patterns you want, as simple or as complex as you would like. For our more advanced crowd, feel free to take this as far as you would like, adding in as much detail as you'd like into your patterns. So I'm going to start off with some orange polka dots. Remember to be careful about where your hand is landing on your drawing. You don't want to smudge it, so just be careful where this part of your hand is dragging. Try to keep it up a little bit. And remember, yours doesn't have to look like mine. This is completely your own work of art, and wherever you go with it is where it's meant to go. And we are both going to have these amazing turtles by the end of this lesson. So now we're going to take our Soho Easy Lift watercolors, which gives us a wide range of color to work with. We have so many options for colors. And I'm going to start off with the Creative Inspiration 6 round brush, just to fill in these areas in the back of the turtle. And the color selection is completely up to you. You do not have to pick the colors that I am. Decided to go with a purpley-ish color around these orange dots for my first segment on the back of the turtle. And patterns have been used by several artists throughout the years to give texture to their works, or even as a form of expression in itself. One famous artist, Gustav Klimt, is very well known for doing that. He is very well known for using swirling patterns in his pieces. If you would like more inspiration for working with patterns, he is a great artist to look into. I'm going to add some yellow in the middle here. Don't forget to rinse off your brush between each color change. Let's see, and I think I want to add maybe a nice bright green over the yellow. And the fun thing about using the oil pastel is that it creates a resist, and what that means is you can color over it with your watercolors and the water will roll right off and leave your underdrawing with the pastel intact, so you can still see it. But just be careful of when you do this, you still keep a light hand so you're not accidentally smudging your oil pastels. And now all we need to do is finish coloring in our turtle and we'll be done. So you can pick whichever green you like your turtle to be. And I'm following along with the edges of the drawing, just to kind of keep the rhythm of the drawing going. When you have lots of back and forth strokes, it can cause inconsistency in your drawing and your painting, and it can become distracting because it makes your drawing busy. And we have all these patterns going, so we don't have to worry about this painting getting any busier than it already is. You can see I'm just using broad strokes and then coming back in and pulling the color with smaller strokes. And the final thing to do is to color in his eye. I think I want to give him a purple eye. And there you have your pattern turtle. And so for our beginners out there, this is where we'll stop the painting, and then we're going to go ahead with our more advanced learners and start working on adding some detail and a little bit more to the background. So welcome back to our advanced learners. Now we're going to start adding in a little bit more detail and some more going on in our background. So after you've had a chance to let it dry, I'm taking the drawing that was back there, since it's already dried, to work on. You're going to pick some seaweed colors. Actually, I'm going to do some fun seaweed. I started to go for the green, but you know, I think I'm going to do some orange seaweed. Why not? This turtle likes orange seaweed. So I'm going to start from the bottom, bring it up, and come back down. Let's see. We'll have another piece go up, come behind his flipper, and come back down, and behind his flipper. And we'll have another couple pieces over here. And you may have different ideas of how you want your seaweed to look. This is your underwater world. Your kelp. You might want to add in even some extra sea creatures. Some sand dollars or starfish. It's your underwater world. Okay. I want another one right there. All right. So now I'm going to begin to color in my seaweed. And I think I am going to stick with the 6 round Creative Inspirations brush for this. Actually, I'm going to dip into the fluorescent orange and see what that does. I love bright colors, so this should be fun. And, ooh, yes, that is really bright. You can see that kelp coming a mile away. So this is amazing. If you haven't been using the fluorescents in this set, I highly suggest checking them out and playing with them some. They are so vibrant. While we're at it, why don't we check out that fluorescent yellow. Yes, look at that color. Haha. Okay, that just means we have to do the pink now. Remember, make sure to get your plenty of water in your brush and roll it around until you see bubbles in the pan, and that lets you know that you've picked up enough pigment. Oh, yeah, that is gorgeous. Whew. Okay, we're gonna have to use more of that one over here. Alright, now that I have these crazy kelp colors filled in, I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the background. So this underwater scene, I'm thinking of mixing some blues and purples together, which you can just do on the paper. I'm going to start off by doing a wash of blue. You'll want plenty of water in your brush before doing this. Just big, broad strokes. And get that feeling of the ocean. So it doesn't have to be a perfect flat wash. The texture is perfect. And give us that feeling of waves going by. And then I think I'm going to add a little purple, just lightly, in here, and let it mix on the paper with the bottom of the blue section that we just finished up. And just give our water background some depth. And we're almost done. I'm just going to dip back into that blue to finish off the bottom of the painting. And then you can go back and just wherever you see an area you might want blended a little bit more, maybe just add a little bit more water, or any place you see where you may want some more detail, just take your brush and add in a few more strokes here and there. There is no wrong or right. This is just your painting. So now we've created and completed our finished pattern sea turtle. We looked at several different patterns that you can use, and hopefully during this lesson you came up with some on your own. And also we talked about how artists will use patterns for texture and to add interest to their paintings, such as the artist Gustav Klimt. So if you want more inspiration on patterns, be sure to look into him. And I'm excited to have gone through this lesson with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time on Art Explorations for Kids.